Hello, General Math students. Today we are going to do lesson 5.2, where we're going to continue talking about part-to-part ratios and part-to-whole ratios. Please have your notebook and a pencil and maybe a calculator so that you are ready to take notes. Feel free to pause the video at any time to catch up, take notes, or even replay it. Here we go. Let's start with a little bit of a review. We talked about simplifying ratios. We always need it in simplest form. So it says simplify the following ratios and determine if they are equivalent. So let's see, I'm going to divide both of these by 5. I get 4:6. I can divide both of them by 2. So I get 2:3. Then let's do the other one. We're going to divide by 3, and I get 2:3. And if I look at these, yes, these two are equivalent. Let's do number 2. I'm going to divide by 5. I get 1:5, and that's all the further I can go. I'm going to divide by 2. I get 1:4. Looking at these, no, they are not equivalent. Let's do number 3. Let's see, I'm going to divide by 50. I'm going to go by the big one. So this would be 2:1. And this one, oh, here I can divide by 12, which gives me 2:1. So this and this, yes, these two are equivalent. That's just a review. Nothing major. We know how to find equivalent ratios. We need to put them in simplest form, all that fun stuff. So let's talk about part-to-part and part-to-whole. If 3:5 is a part-to-part ratio, how can you change it to a part-to-whole ratio? That's what we're going to be talking about. We talked a little bit about what a part-to-part ratio was and what a part-to-whole ratio was, but now we're going to work with them. We're going to go from whatever information the problem gives us, whether it's a part-to-part information or a part-to-whole information, and we're going to move to the other one. So let's do these together and see how we do. The ratio of the number of girls to the total number of children in Miss Robinson's class is 2:5. There are 12 girls in her class. Here's our first question. What is the ratio of girls to boys? So I'm going to kind of make a table. In Miss Robinson's class, I'm going to have a number of girls, I'm going to have a number of boys, and I'm going to have a total number of students. And we're going to start with the ratio that they gave us. So we kind of have a table going on. Okay, and this is what we want, or the actual, one of the two. I don't care how you think of it, but that's what we want. So let's fill in what we know. Girls to the total is 2:5. So we have 2 girls to a total of 5. Well, if we have 2 girls and a total of 5, that means we have 3 boys. 2 girls plus 3 boys gives us 5 total. So then we're going to go to the actual. This is what I want. It is the actual. There are 12 girls in her class. So that's what I'm going to put here. 12 girls. So with that, then I'm going to fill in the rest of it. What do I do to 2 to get 12? I multiply it by 6. So I'm going to do the same thing all the way down. 3 times 6 is 18. 5 times 6 is 30. And if I add 12 plus 18, I should get 30. So question number 1, what is the ratio of girls to boys? Well, I'm going to use the ratio thing, and it's girls to boys. So my answer here is 2:3. So now you got to kind of remember this, because for the next page, we're going to be using these same numbers. How many girls are in Miss Robinson's class? Well, remember we had a ratio of girls to boys for a total, and there were 12 girls in Miss Robinson's class, 18 for a total of 30. So how many girls are in Miss Robinson's class? There are 12 girls. How many boys? 18 boys, because remember, this was girls, this was boys, this was total. How many total children are in the class? There are 30 children, 30 total children. The next ones we're not going to be on separate pages, so you'll be able to see the table as we go through it. So let's do this. Will and his father planted a garden. For every 3 tomato plants, they planted 2 basil plants. So we have tomato plants, we have basil plants, and we have total plants. So here we go. In the ratio that they gave us, this is the ratio, we have 3 tomato and 2 basil for a total of 5. They planted 6. This is the actual. They planted 6. So they planted 6 tomato plants. So if we do the math, 3 times 2 is 6. We're going to do that all the way down. 2 times 2 is 4. They planted 4 basil, and they have a total of 10. So the question is, how many basil plants did they plant? Right there, they planted 4 basil plants. And don't forget to label. We are dealing with word problems. Let's do another one. 2 out of 3 students in Mr. Peters' class have pet dogs. Okay, so they have dogs, they don't have dogs, and the total number of kids in his class. Okay, so again, we're going to set up our ratio and the actual. Okay, so here we go. 2 out of 3 students in Mr. Peters' class have pet dogs. So 2 have out of 5, which means there's 5 total students. So that means 3 don't have pet dogs. So now let's work with our actual. 18 students, here's our actual, 18 students have dogs. So 18 have dogs. So let's do the math. 2 times 9 gives us 18. So 3 times 9 is 27. 5 times 9 gives us 45. How many students are in Mr. Peters' class? Well, we have it right here. There are 45 students. And I would recommend definitely making this whole table. You have your 2 parts and the total, you have your ratio, and you have the actual. To do this, to set this up, it's going to make answering your questions a lot easier. Let's do another one. Taylor's soccer team ate at a food court. 5 players ate at McDonald's for every 2 players who ate at Subway. Okay, so here we go. We have Mickey D's, McDonald's, and Subway, and a total number of girls eating. We have our ratio, and we have the actual. Notice, none of my tables are super perfect. They're all kind of sloppy, but it still works. So let's fill in the ratio. 5 players ate at McDonald's for every 2 players who ate at Subway, which gives us a total of 7. But now let's look for the actual. If 6 players ate at Subway, so we're at Subway, 6 players ate at Subway, the question is how many ate at McDonald's? So let's do the math. 2 times 3 gives us 6. 5 times 3 gives us 15. 7 times 3 gives us 21. But this is what we want. So how many players ate at McDonald's? 15 players ate at McDonald's. But no matter what they ask us, because we have our entire table, we could answer any question. Okay, let's do another one. Feel free to pause the video so that you can try it by yourself and see how you do. We're going to only have a couple more examples. Janet only listens to rock and hip-hop music. Okay, I'm going to set up my table. This is the ratio. This is actual. I got rock music, and I've got hip-hop music. And then the total number of songs that I think is what is going to be looking at. Altogether, she has 400 MP3 on her iPad. So that's an actual. That's going to go down over here. She actually has 400 songs on her MP3, on her iPad. The ratio, now we're under ratio of the number of hip-hop to rock. So be careful. Hip-hop is first, is 3 to 5. So hip-hop is 3, rock is 5 for a total of 8. Okay, but we got to watch for that ratio. Okay, so let's do the math. 8 times what gives us 400? So you are going to have to use your calculator, do 400 divided by 8 to see what you get. We get 50. So 8 times 50 equals that 400. So we go through, we're going to multiply by 50. 3 times 50 is 150. 5 times 50 is 250. And if I add that together, I get 400. So then, let's answer the question. How many hip-hop songs does she have? Here we go. Hip-hop. She has 150 hip-hop songs. Good job. Let's do another one. Again, pause it if you want to try it on your own first. Will only owns FUBU and Abercrombie shirts. Just so some of you know, those are shirts in the 80s. We have ratio, we have actual, we have FUBU shirts, and we have Abercrombie shirts. This should be an A. Sorry about that. Abercrombie shirts, and then we have a total number of shirts. Okay? The ratio of Will's shirts, FUBU shirts to Abercrombie shirts is 2 to 3. So we have 2 to 3, which gives us a total of 5. If Will has 30 shirts total, so here it goes, 30 goes down here, how many of them are FUBU? So this is the one that we're looking for. Let's do the math. 5 times 6 is 30. So we're going to multiply the rest of these by 6. So we get 12. We get 18. He has 12 FUBU shirts. Extra letter in there. Okay, one more. Pause the video, see if you can do it on your own. Otherwise, here we go. Okay, we have the ratio and we have the actual. There are 30 children in Miss Robinson's class. So we're going to deal with girls and boys and total. And we already know because there are 30 children, so that goes under actual. Now we have the ratio of boys to the total number is 3 to 5. Boys to the total number. Well, if the total is 5 and there's 3 boys, that means there's 2 girls. So let's do the math. 5 times what gives us 30? That'd be 6. Multiply all of these by 6. 2 times 6 is 12. 3 times 6 is 18. So we have 2 questions here. How many boys are in the class? How many girls are in the class? Well, boys. We have 18 boys. And we have 12 girls. And to double check, 18 plus 12 does give us 30. So your homework now is right underneath this video in GoFormative is the 5.2 practice, numbers 1 through 6. Feel free to message me if you have any questions.